Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now. Do you see the chart?
Yep.
Very good. All right, we have Amelia. When's your birthday?
10/28/1984.
October, right?
Mm-hmm.
Time?
I think it's 11:02 or 11:03 p.m.
Where?
I in Deer Park, California.
All right. Oh,
There I am.
okay. So now I just paused because there's someone that has almost the exact same chart as you.
Really?
Yeah, that's in the school. I have a school. And
Okay.
but then I think you're just literally 1 year apart.
That's interesting because I feel like that's what got me curious about astrology too, is because I felt like I rarely saw charts like mine where everything is just so condensed. Um,
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
but
see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right. And okay. Yeah, it is kind of unusual actually, even for me to encounter someone with such a chart. So let's get into it and see what that's about.
okay.
So, just can you say a bit about what's happening in your life, like
Right
currently?
now,
Mm,
right now, I feel like I'm going through a second spiritual awakening. Um, I had, you can probably see it with my Pluto in the fourth house. And my Capricorn moon. I had a really rough childhood. I feel like I've been a grown up since I was like 3 years old, and I went through uh, many years of drug addiction and mental health struggles. I did get sober a little over 3 years ago, and through that recovery program, I was introduced to like Carl Jung and conscious recovery and spiritual awakenings. And I definitely did go through a spiritual awakening then. Um, Within the last 2 years, I met someone. I was in a relationship, and at first I thought everything was perfect. It lined up like this is it. And then I started seeing like repeated patterns of like the way my dad was or like the way my mom was. I just felt like this veil was kind of lifted, and I fully understood that I have the authority to make changes. Like, I don't have to stay in this relationship and relive these patterns, especially when I can see them and especially when I can understand like my unconscious wounds or my partner's unconscious wounds like coming out. It was kind of bizarre to go through it. And then just in the last 3 months, everything kind of imploded. I I moved out. I got my own house. I have an 18-year-old daughter. She lives with me. I definitely feel like it was like a glow up. I felt so expansive leaving that relationship. And not to say that I didn't grieve it. There was a lot of like I saw a lot of potential in that person, but it was just that. It was like a vision of something that never actually came to fruition. He was really good at talking about what he was going to do, but not very good at following through. And I feel like I moved the exact opposite way. Like, I've already handled the thing before you even knew about it. Um,
mm-hmm.
and then in like astrology world, it was interesting because he was a Scorpio sun, he was a Leo rising. but he had a Pisces moon. Mars was in Libra. I think his Mercury was in Libra. So there was that like conflicting energy with all my Sagittarius and Capricorn. Um, and I don't know, it just brought a lot of clarity to what my values are. Like, I very strongly understand what my core values are. I very strongly understand like what I want my purpose in this like human experience right here and now to be. And the life that he was offering, like on paper, looked stable, consistent, cookie cutter, basic, like all the perfectly lined houses with the perfect lines. Like, just on paper, it looked like a good decision. But internally, I was like shrinking, like dehydrating on this cellular level where it just did not feel authentic for me to be there at all. And yeah, it was like weird. As soon as I left, I just could feel like the the stages of an awakening happening again. Um, so I'm curious. I'm curious what's going to happen because the last one was a pretty wild ride.
Okay, for me, the process that you're describing so far with this guy that you've just separated from is your Pluto square, and also
Okay.
Pluto square your sun in the fourth house. Um, Also because you said that you've just gotten your own house,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there, especially I feel Pluto to the sun. Like finally, after a long time of sharing house with someone, having to deal therefore with, the enmeshment,
Yeah.
now you have your own place. That's a big change. But what's interesting is that Pluto is still squaring your sun. It's not finished. In fact, next year is going to be the exact square. So it's like you're still in a process of something moving, very deep movements.
Okay.
And we're gonna find out what that's about. So what else is okay? So now you're alone. Where? Where did you move to?
I'm still in Auburn. I moved from like
Is
a very
Auburn,
small,
California?
yeah, it's in Northern California.
Okay.
Kind of like a foothills mountainous type area. I work in Sacramento, so I go downtown all the
I'm glad
time.
that you said foothills.
Yeah, I'm a mountain girl through and through. I go crazy if I'm not around trees.
Okay,
I
so there's your moon, Jupiter, Mars, and Capricorn.
Okay. I've never like I've just never questioned it. Like, I always feel the most comfortable in the mountains and around trees. And basically the apartment that I just left was super modern. Everything was gray. They had cut down the two big trees right by my house that was the tree I would talk to in the morning when I'd go by my car. Like, I don't know. I'd tell it to have a good day. And it just felt so dead and stale there. And then this new house that I found, I like beat out 22 people who had applied for it. Um, it's built in the 1940s, like it's the original. It's feels like so much more authentic to how I am. It's got a big wraparound porch, like these inside outside vibes with mature oak trees and maple trees and birds and squirrels. And like, I just feel enmeshed with nature here. And it's so satisfying. Like,
Okay.
I got to watch the moonrise from my bed through my bedroom window tonight. And I just felt so content.
All right. So do you hear in all of that the moon, Jupiter conjunction in Capricorn? And I'm gonna reflect it again. In your old house, there was a tree that you talked to every time that you would leave.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so there's Moon, Jupiter, Capricorn, Capricorn being the tree.
So
And then,
what is,
hmm?
or go ahead.
And then in your new house, you're enmeshed in nature. It's built in the 1930s, so it's old. It has character.
Mm-hmm.
It's has mature oak trees, right? And so that you love Nate, you just feel so good and so lifted and so
Mm-hmm.
spiritual in nature. There's your Moon, Jupiter, Capricorn. You're a mountain girl. The other part that intrigued me, it's in fact about your Pluto Sun square again, because Aquarius is the people, the public. And you just told me that to get this house that you've gotten now, you beat out 22 other people. So there for me is the Pluto and Aquarius on the 7th, 22 people, and fighting with them for the house that ultimately ends up being yours, the Sun in the 4th. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because fourth house is home and family, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And so was it like a bidding that everyone was bidding?
No, it was I had like qualified all my financials and submitted my application. I did like an initial walkthrough with the current tenants to get a feel for the house because it's a unique house and it's been very lovingly like taken care of and restored. Um, and it's a smaller space. Like I turned the living room into my bedroom. One of the bedrooms we turned into like a dressing room. My daughter has her own kind of wing of the house, and our kitchen is our main gathering area. Um, but
Mhm.
yeah, it like passed the vibe check there, and then I had to do a phone interview with the owner, which I really enjoyed because he was asking he was asking more questions like about um like my values. And it is on a somewhat shared property. There's three individual houses that he owns all three of them. He lives in one and he rents out the other two. So we live in like close proximity with each other, but totally separate. And then yeah, he just said that he had to talk to everybody and give everyone a chance to see it, and then he would decide who he thought the best fit would be.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
But I don't know, I just felt an attachment to this house like the second we saw it. And I remember telling him that in my interview that like I used to live in Grass Valley, Nevada City, which are even further up the mountain. I've always lived in older homes. Like I respect and appreciate the quirks that come with them and like, you know, you got to be gentle and you have to be present with your house and understand like the different kinds of creaks and um I just told him I would really love to take care of the space for him. And
Okay, do you feel the Moon, Jupiter, Capricorn and what you're saying?
I'm not sure what that I don't know what that means.
Good. Capricorn is things that are old and things that are natural, right? Because it's an earth sign.
Yeah, I love rocks and
Okay,
crystals.
exactly. So that you're very connected to these houses and you've always lived in old houses and you love the
Mm-hmm.
quirks they come with. That's the Jupiter because Jupiter is expansive, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the Moon, Jupiter, like you have a natural sense for old things, for natural things, for rocks, for crystals, for trees, for forests, for mountains. And you feel so good
Yeah, I
amongst.
definitely feel like I'm in my element. And I definitely feel uncomfortable in like modern society. Like the whole idea of decorating my house with things from Amazon or IKEA or Costco, like I'm
Mm,
having like a visceral reaction. I'm like, no. It's like all our stuff is found thrifting or antiquing or bones we'd found out on hikes or
okay, Moon, Jupiter,
us.
Capricorn,
Yeah, it's very,
antiquing,
very connected with
bones,
old,
hiking.
older things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very good. And I love that you use that visual of IKEA and Amazon. It's like it gives me such a perfect image of what you're talking about.
it's just so flat. It's like soulless. I don't know. I can't do it.
Yeah, okay. So you moved in 3 months ago, you said.
No, we've just only been here a month. Tomorrow will
Oh,
be a month. The breakup happened, I think, 3 months ago. Like we had had the same fight 4 times in a row. And the third time we had had the fight, I told him I'm not gonna keep doing this. So then the fourth time when it happened, he like packed up his bag and left. And then he came back maybe like 45 minutes, an hour later, and just laid down in bed like he was gonna watch a show or something. And I asked, what are you doing? He said, I'm gonna go watch a show. And I said, no, what are you doing here? Like, you don't live here anymore. You left. I told you you can't break up with me every time you're upset. You told me you were leaving. So I can move your bag to the front door. I can call your mom to come pick you up. But like, you don't fucking live here anymore. Go. And he protested a little bit. And I was like, well, you can't be here. Like, I'm way too activated. I can't be around you right now. And I don't think it's good for you to be around me. He's like, well, you can go sleep on the couch. And I was like, all right, that's your character. Like, really, that's your character that you're showing me right now is I can go sleep on the couch when you willingly choose to sleep on the couch. You prefer to sleep on the couch all the time. Like, no, kick rocks. Go sleep on the couch. And then he's just been really uh he's just been really unreliable and immature and kind of cruel, but
so there I'm feeling Pluto on your descendant, right on the cusp of your seventh house. Like all this intense situation with him. You
mhm,
have the same fights over and over, and it finally leads to the blowout and separation and him moving out.
mhm,
Okay, so you've been in the new house for a month.
mhm.
Okay, when you came in, was there like, I guess, a lot of work to do on just setting
Yes.
up the house, doing it how you like, moving things around? I just feel like a lot of movement and energy, making repairs.
Yeah, no, it was that kind of vibe because it was just me and a friend and my daughter and her boyfriend, like moving every day because I knew I didn't want it to be stressful. My daughter and I have had to move every 2 years her entire life by no fault of our own. It's always been a flood or they're selling the house or a breakup or um but it's consistently been every 2 years. And like my lease at the old house ends June 30th. I started my lease at this house May 8th. And he was like, do you want to do a 1 year lease or a 2 year lease? And I kind of laughed. I was like, well, I'll do a 2 year lease. I didn't tell him like the history, like the pattern. Um, but I thought that was interesting that that's been consistent.
Okay,
So her and I have moving down to a science, and it's just a little bit every day, but it has been nonstop for about a month.
okay. There's a few things. First of all, I feel the Sun Pluto in the fourth house, that you have to move house so often, again and again,
Mm,
the house is changing. But even
mm-hmm,
more than that, because you use the 2 years, Mars has a 2-year cycle. It takes him 2 years to have a Mars return.
Uh-huh.
And you have Mars conjunct the moon, right, which is your housing. And so every 2 years, what I see is like Mars coming, it might not be the conjunction, it could be the opposition, doesn't really matter. But this is where I feel like you're moving every 2 years. And also that your Mars is sextile your Saturn in the fourth. Because you said now at this point you have the moving down to a science, right? So
Yeah.
you've become competent in what it takes to move house.
Yeah, I
And
always kind of took pride that I can fit my whole life into a U-Haul, like in 24 hours. And then I always kind of thought about it like, because I've definitely been trying to connect to my spirit guides more through meditation and tap into psychic abilities. And I'm Romanian, so there's like that Romani I don't know. I'm like, is it because we're like gypsies that we just move all the time and just make do that it's okay? Or is that why it's comfortable?
mhm,
I
that's
don't know. But
okay. Last month, Saturn was at 9 degrees Aries, exactly square your moon in cardinal signs. Yeah. So this makes me think about moving house, getting everything little by little from the other house to the new house, establishing it, changing it, repairing it,
hmm
making things how you like them to be.
yeah, I had to build a lot of furniture.
Ah, okay.
I had to create a lot of storage. So I like build a pantry, build a kitchen island, build shelving. I have
Okay.
shelves to build out in the garage. Um, Tomorrow's the last day at the old house. Someone's coming to pick up the couch, and then I'm like done. I can wash my hands of it.
Uh-huh. Okay. It's the full moon today.
I know. Hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. It's, the full moon is conjuncture Venus Uranus in the fifth. So that makes me think about how you're done with him after today, like you're free.
Yeah, it feels that way. I was reading something the other day online about something about planets being at 11 degrees. Now I can't even remember what the relevance
I can
was, but
already
I
tell
didn't.
you it's a no. For me, it's a no. Every degree theory is just, but go ahead. You can tell me if, because I guess it resonated with you.
Well, no, I don't even remember what it was about. I just remember looking at my chart and seeing that Venus and Uranus were both in Sagittarius in the fifth house at 11 degrees. And the person had said that that's like karmic lessons in relationships. And I can't remember what the other thing was.
I want to tell you that that's nonsense. People make that stuff up.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, whatever lessons I mean, who doesn't have lessons in relationship?
That's kind of what I was thinking. I
You
was
know,
like,
you don't need an 11. It's people just, yeah, that's a whole other, let's not go there.
okay, that's fine.
Um, I'm feeling your moon, Jupiter, Mars in Capricorn because you built all that furniture. Most people don't do such things, right? They would go to IKEA or they would try to, I don't know, buy it from someone on Facebook Marketplace, but you built it, right? So
Well,
clearly
I
that
didn't
tells me,
build it by hand. I ordered it off Temu and put it together, but I didn't like design it, I guess.
okay, that's
I
different.
don't get that much credit. Yeah.
Okay. Still, I feel the Capricorn, right? Putting something together, building all
Yeah.
the pieces out. Can you build things? Are you good with
Yeah.
your hands?
I work with my hands. I'm a hairdresser. I've always worked with my hands.
Oh.
I've always like,
So you still work
yeah,
as a hairdresser?
I've done it for over 20 years. Yeah. Just recently I started I did start working as like a substance use disorder counselor um with the because the two women who I had worked with specifically asked if I would they told me like I should be doing that. I should be helping people And they really supported and encouraged me to do that. And I have always felt like, even with doing hair, there's like the physical aspect of like building people up, but so much of what I do behind the chair is conversationally. Um, and it always goes deep. It always goes deep with me somehow. But uh, that's kind of why I wanted to get more into astrology, because I would incorporate it into my group sessions, as that was always my icebreaker when I would get a new group. I'd have like 12, people in early recovery who are anxious and stressed out and going through it. And
When did
so
you
I'd
start this with?
um I started doing that last July, I think. Did it from like July to October, and then I'm supposed to have lunch with them on Monday. And I'm kind of assuming they're going to ask me to come work at their new facility, but I'm not for sure. But that was always my icebreaker is, what's your name? What's your sign? And they would all kind of laugh it off like, okay, that's weird. But then I'd be like, okay, notice how all the air signs are kind of sitting together. Like the earth signs are scattered throughout the room with their arms crossed, like thinking this is bullshit. But I would explain it that like it helps me better understand how to approach you with information. Like I would never approach a Pisces with the same energy that I would like talk to an Aries with. I would soften my words with the Pisces, or um I don't know.
So I'm
But
feeling
that's
your sun square again. I'll explain. So I have the transits for last July.
okay.
And again, we're thinking about Pluto and Aquarius because Aquarius is when you work with groups of people.
Okay.
And it's squaring your sun, Pluto, and Scorpio. And so you work with these groups of people to help them recover from
Mm-hmm.
addiction. Right? So there's the connection between the two. And for me also that you're kind of the leader is the sun. Or you're the one to hold the space for them to
Yeah.
heal and recover and go deep inside themselves. But now you're not doing it for yourself, right? You're using the things that you've gone through, Sun, Pluto in your fourth house, to at this point work with people, Pluto and Aquarius, to help them go through the same transformation.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely think that has been my role and focus uh, within the last year for sure. And not so much working with like recovery, drugs and alcohol. The substance is part of it, but it's a it's kind of educating people that the substance is like the solution to a deeper problem, and like helping them discover what the problem they're trying to escape from is. And then once you fix that problem, you don't desire the escapism from it anymore. You don't desire the need to numb it out because you understand where it's coming from. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so
Yeah.
trying to step away from formal formal government issued type recovery centers and transition it into more of like a conscious mindfulness, meditation, self-awareness uh, type of recovery.
Mm-hmm. And you still cut hair as well.
Yeah, because unfortunately, there's not a lot of money to be made in recovering people as a counselor. I'm looking more into marketing it as coaching though, because coaching I can set my own prices.
Right.
I am successful in I had had a very successful career in hairdressing. I've owned my own business. I've been self-employed the last, yeah, 17, 20 years. Um, but work has always been my driving force and my outlet for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm feeling the Venus Uranus in your fifth house in your work as a hairdresser, given the fifth house is the house of beauty. You said that when people are in the chair, you're doing deep work. It goes deep with you somehow each time. Can you give an example?
Um,
Is it like you're talking them through whatever is happening and you're asking a lot of questions and you're cutting hair, but at the same time you're listening to them?
yeah, I definitely I've been told that I like have a healer's touch. There is an energy exchange which contributed to my addiction because I didn't understand boundaries, especially with energetic exchanges. So I was extremely overly empathetic. I was absorbing and trying to transmute everyone's traumas, and I feel like I can see people and feel their traumas before they even tell me. Like, so I had to learn how to navigate boundaries. Um, I've had clients come to me and say, like, they just love sharing the time with me because it's like mama bear energy. Like they know they're going to be held, they know they're going to be nurtured, they know they're going to be like leaving feeling transformed emotionally and physically. Um, and a lot of it I feel like is just allowing people to feel seen. Like the way I work, we have an atrium, like a plant little sitting area, and I never talk to my clients through the mirror. I'm either talking to them like face to face, or they are facing out at the atrium and I'm facing out at the atrium, but like that's our view. I hate talking to people through the mirror, and I hate looking at the mirror the whole time you're doing hairdressing. It feels performative, like in an inauthentic way, where I feel like when you get people to not look at the mirror, not look at themselves, they like relax a lot more, they loosen up, and there's a different kind of intimacy exchanged with that. And I do a lot of like hair painting. So these are like 3, 4 hour sessions I'm having with people at a time.
Mm,
Um,
hmm.
so that's where it does like sometimes it was getting exhausting. So I'm like, I can either like do art or I can do deep like healing work. But I can't really do both at the same time because it makes me very, very tired. Um,
I see. Okay. For me, I'm starting to feel the Mercury, Saturn, and Scorpio very strongly on several levels. First, Scorpio is when you descend into people's private affairs, all the things
mhm,
they're experiencing, the pain that they have. It's like bringing up all of the pain from the well that sits deep inside of them.
mhm,
They just pull it all out, Scorpio, and you listen.
yeah,
And so there I feel the Saturn because you're going through such conversations, but for 3 or 4 hours at a time. It's a very
mhm,
long, it's a lot, and it's a lot to keep track of. And it's so of course it's so emotionally exhausting for you. And I can see how you had trouble setting the boundaries, always having to talk long, maybe forcing yourself kind of to talk longer than you're comfortable with.
yeah, I agree with that.
And feeling like you can't escape being, yeah, doing that because it's your nature also.
Well, and that's where like um towards the end of my addiction, like I was a gnarly alcoholic. Like I had to drink every 2 hours, or I would get the shakes. I've almost died 3 times from alcohol withdrawal or pancreatitis, or I had delirium tremens. Like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like pussyfoot around my drinking. I drank to like escape, destroy. My sense of like self-worth and self-esteem was so low. It was like this sick cycle of like wanting to hurt myself or like wanting to take it to the edge, and then like this sick satisfaction when I was able to like pull it off or recover. um it was a really weird cycle, but then what I learned, a lot of that is absorbing everyone else's stuff and then like not knowing what to do with it or not knowing where to put it, and I would just panic and want to escape. For now, I feel like there's a shelving system, and there's I come home and I like wash Palo Santo over me. Like there's a systematic process to removing whatever energetic ties I absorb or not absorbed. I feel like I don't absorb them at all during the day now. But that was a pretty heavy
Scorpio.
lesson to learn.
So I'm feeling the Sun Pluto in Scorpio very much because of what you went through with the drinking, where your self-esteem and your self-worth was so low that you kept destroying yourself. And also
Hmm.
in the fourth, that makes me think it's such a private experience. Like other people maybe don't even really
Yes.
know about that, but you inside of yourself, you know what's happening. And all the yeah.
No, I was very good at hiding my addiction.
Oh yeah, that makes me think about you like the Mercury Saturn, like working so hard to keep it straight.
hmm And it wasn't until like literally my body was shutting down that I had to admit that things were as bad as they were, admit that I didn't, surrender to the fact that I was powerless over this addiction. But I think that I mean, even now when I talk about it or when I share my story in the appropriate situations, like just the amount of I just can't believe I lived through that and held it together. Like I would wake up at 4:35 in the morning with the shakes after not sleeping. I'd like finish off whatever pint of vodka I had between the mattress. I'd throw up for the first 2 hours of the day to just like level out, to drive to work, to take on clients all day. And then like all I could think about at the end of the day was like drinking till I fell asleep. Like I did not want to be present at all. But meanwhile, on the outside, my career was thriving. Like it was self-sustaining. I
Oh,
wasn't losing anything. I was keeping it all together on the outside, but on the inside, I was just dust. Like I had no power.
okay. There's a few things coming up for me now. So what's happening in your fourth house with the Scorpio stellium? That
Hmm.
for me is all of the drinking and everything you're going in through on a personal level that nobody else really gets to know about. And then I see the Venus, Uranus, and Sagittarius, which is a very different energy. This is where I see business is booming. Like you're
Hmm.
getting clients, you're doing amazing work, money's coming in, you're independent, life is great, money is enough,
Hmm.
having fun, you're doing art, or you're changing people, you're doing different kinds of styles, you're making
Hmm.
people's hair crazy, you're making people totally change.
Yeah, it's very transformative. It's fun and I enjoy it.
And
I
and then there's the moon Jupiter. and Capricorn in the 6th house. This for me is that no matter what you were going through personally, you were always at work.
Yeah, I always showed up.
You always showed up and you did a good job and you went through what you needed to go through. Right? So there did you see those different parts of you, how they work together?
Yeah. I feel like they work together um almost as like a protection, like protection and destruction at the same time. Like protection in the way that I am very disciplined and I am very like I don't fuck around with work. Work is like work comes first because it takes care of everything else. And it protected that like outer image that everything was fine. But it was also because I was focusing so much on work and I was focusing so much on things outside of my internal world, it was destructive because my internal world that I never nurtured it until recently. I never celebrated who I was with like authority,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
So I want to point out something because we started off this call talking about how your chart is bunched up in that one
Mhm.
area. Okay. And now I figured it out. But of course, this is just one element of it because the more we talk, the more we see. But notice how your entire life that you've described it basically exists within two realms: what's happening inside of you and in the
Mm.
household, and work. Do you see that? So there's the fourth,
Yeah.
6th house.
Well, and it's always like it's always been that way. Uh it's when I'm the oldest of six kids. My mom has an Aquarius moon. She was not warm. She was not like nurturing. She was very critical. There was a lot of my early life, there were things that I thought just were like gray areas when it came to abuse. And it wasn't until I got into therapy, like, no, it was very black and white. I was abused very aggressively on a psychological, physical, um,
Can you give an
verbal.
example, please?
Um, my mom would tell this story about how I got my first spank at 6 months old. That she had just washed her sheets and put clean sheets on the bed, and she had given me a bath, and she laid me down to get me dressed, and I peed on the clean sheets, and she spanked me. And it wasn't until I had my own daughter and was like looking at her as a 6-month-old baby and thinking like there's no fucking way I could hit her, like no way. um yeah,
Uh-huh.
I don't hit my daughter. I don't I She would talk about how like she broke a wooden spoon over my butt when I was 2, which yeah, when I'm looking at my daughter as a 2-year old, I'm thinking like there's nothing you could do that would make me that mad that I would like hurt you like that.
Okay, before you continue, I just want to reflect about the clean sheets,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's Scorpio. Because Scorpio takes out the stains, the water sign, you soak things so that everything becomes clean. It's kind of
Okay.
like the process of cleaning yourself psychologically. But then you peed on them, and there's Scorpio again, right? Peeing, making another stain. The liquid's coming out from inside. And that's what earned you your first spanking. So that makes me think about the Mercury, Saturn, Scorpio.
Yeah, I could see that. I also feel like that was the inner conflict with just like always being anxious that I was doing something wrong, or that
Yes.
it was a very basically like I was diagnosed with CPTSD after growing up that way. And then my marriage to my daughter's dad was horrible. Um, Physically abusive, psychologically abusive. He has borderline personality disorder with narcissistic
Okay.
overtones. It was,
So do you feel the Mercury, Saturn, Scorpio in that?
I don't understand what that means.
Mercury is talking to someone,
Okay.
right? Like having a conversation with me, talking to your clients at work, having a chit chat with your husband or ex-husband. And Saturn, because it's exactly conjunct Mercury, Saturn makes things impossible. Saturn makes things very hard, very oppressive, with tremendous pressure, and
Yeah.
never relenting. It's like you can never have that thing.
Yeah. I felt like I could
Without
never like come
every
up for air.
exactly like every possible ounce of energy is taken when you try to just talk and right. So this for me is like psychological insanity. Mercury, Saturn,
Yeah.
Scorpio. Like you can
That's
never
a
get
good
your
way to
point across.
describe
Someone
it.
is always playing games. Whatever you say gets twisted. So like no matter what comes out of your mouth, it's poisoned.
Yeah. No, I definitely felt like I could never, I just shut down because it was like, what's the point of saying anything if it's going to be distorted or manipulated or criticized, or like, I just shut down.
Okay, Mercury, Saturn, Scorpio. Do you see it now?
I, I feel like I need more, I understand all the Scorpio energy,
Remember,
um,
Mercury is about exchanging.
communication.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Saturn there, you're getting criticized. Your words are being twisted. Nothing you say is good enough. Every time you try to talk, it's not right, right? And so you shut
Mm-hmm.
down, you stop talking, you can't find the right words. There's nothing you can say that can ever make it okay. You keep trying, but it's rejected, right? Mercury, Saturn, Scorpio. And that
Well,
because
and
it's
it just,
house, so with your husband, with your parents, with your siblings.
yeah, my home life was always very oppressive. And then like after we got divorced, um I've not remarried. I've not I've none of my relationships have lasted past 2 years. Like that's the other inside joke is we move every 2 years and I get a different boyfriend. Like,
Hmm.
and I with the relationship thing, I see it more kind of from like a logical standpoint where I'm like, no, within 2 years I've established like pattern recognition, or you've shown me that like this is how you show up for certain things, or this is how I feel around you during certain things. And I've stacked enough evidence like that this is how it's gonna be, and I don't want to continue it. Sometimes they break up with me around 2 years, but it's always 2 years, or it always has been 2 years. And I was learning, I just attributed that to like Venus and Sagittarius. Relationships are not super high on my priority list. I can like kind of take it or leave it. I'm not devastated to be single. I'm not scared to be single. Almost more comfortable being single because I feel like there's less eyes on me, or there's less restrictions. I don't have to compromise for anyone. I can just be, and that's where I feel happiest. Um, I also felt kind of betrayed, like having this narrative shoved down my throat through my early childhood you know, like you get married and you have kids, you get married and you have kids. I got married at 21 to someone who was 37 and had a baby right away. Like I felt like I did everything you told me to do. And then even when he was like beating the shit out of me, my mom's giving me the message of like, well, you know, divorce isn't always the right thing to do. Where now, me now, if my daughter came to me and told me that, I would be like, we're getting you the hell out of there. Like, no way. We're not tolerating this. Like, no. Um, so it was this weird conflict of like, I like the rules. I want to understand the rules. I want to meet people's expectations or go above and beyond their expectations, blow it out of the water. But I felt like the bar kept moving, or I would be definitely with my ex-husband, nothing was ever good enough. Ever. I never felt like he was satisfied with me, but a lot of that was abusive, like manipulation type stuff.
Your Mercury Saturn conjunction is the closest aspect in your chart, and Scorpio in the fourth house. So that for me is that repeating pattern of very abusive interactions with your husband and with your mom,
Mm-hmm.
right? And never really being able to connect with them, never being able to have like a normal conversation.
Yeah.
It's always something complicated and horrible.
Or I feel like there's ulterior motives, or
Yeah.
there will be a price to be paid at some point. Like, yeah, I feel like okay, it's good now, and I'm trying not to manifest like the bad thing happening, but I feel like I can never, especially with intimacy, and I think that is part of why the relationships don't go past a certain point. I do feel like it's my fault because I have such a hard time really being vulnerable
Mm,
because it doesn't feel safe for me at all because the
mm,
rug has just been pulled out from under me so many times. I also feel like it's made me very strong because I've bounced back every time, or I've learned to find peace and happiness even with all that trauma. Like tomorrow morning I will wake up and feel like I'm living my best life. Like I love my house, I love my daughter, I love my life. I love the area I'm living in. Like I'm not necessarily fixated on what got me here. I'm just appreciative that I'm here right now. And I do not feel that there is anything I can't handle. I feel like I've lived through every scariest thing that I ever, you know, I've lived through every scary thing on physical, spiritual, mental um extremes, if that makes sense.
totally. I'm feeling the Sun Pluto conjunction in what you're saying.
Like I could picture myself being like space dust and talking to the universe and being like, okay, I'm ready to go back and be a human again. And then being like, well, what do you want to learn this time? Or what do you want your earthly experience to be like? And I would say, I want to know the full range of human emotion. Like, I want to feel the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. I want to understand the whole spectrum, like give it to me. And and I have lived that experience. I've had incredible, like amazing, magical, unbelievable things happen. And I've also been 5150'd and like gone fucking feral, escaping the hospital, ripping my IVs out. Like there was this chaotic intensity that I carried for so long that somehow has been transmuted into something way more balanced, way more level, and so appreciative of that too. I'm so appreciative that I don't have to live in that kind of chaotic, anxious energy ever again.
Hmm. Okay. Let's stop there for today.
Okay.
What do you think? Or what are you feeling?
Um, I haven't, like, honestly, I haven't really thought about the trauma that I haven't revisited those feelings in a while. I don't like I guess I still do get a little bit activated because I did tear up, but it doesn't have as much of a hold on me like it used to. Like, I'm not going to sit up and dwell on it. But it is making me really reflect on how much like growth and alchemizing, and like I just definitely feel more in alignment and more in flow with the universal like energy now, right now in this moment, in this era of my life. I feel like something has clicked and I'm like locked in, and I feel like I'm back in the vortex, if that makes any sense. When I had my first spiritual awakening, I definitely felt like I got sucked into a vortex and all this magic happened, and I couldn't dispute it. Like, it gave me so much evidence that I was doing the right thing at the right time, the synchronicities, the opportunities, and I can feel that familiar energy happening again now. So I'm trying not to anticipate anything, or like, I'm just trying to be in the moment and
Yeah, that makes me think
surrender.
about Jupiter that is moving into your first house. We didn't get there, but Jupiter is going to be in Leo a month from now. And I feel that in your new, because in this house, you get to really express yourself and be fully you.
Mm-hmm.
No one else around you to stop you from fully showing who you are. So I feel much more expansion on the way in terms
Yeah.
of self-expressing, and yeah, maybe creating a project that is really aligned with you. Let me just stop recording, and then you and I can talk for just another couple minutes. Okay,
Okay.
so Amelia and I are signing out.